everybody, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm working with Scrappy Tails and I'm working with the Christmas market stamp set. So this is the focal point, main thing for the video. It's about stretching our holiday stamp sets. They're not all created equal. I was so excited about this one because I knew I could use it all year long. So today I'm going to show you a couple of ideas. I am going to be using some other Scrappy Tail products like this one. I'm using the Sentiment from this. This is a slimline shadow box die. It is so cool. It comes with everything you need to make a slimline shadow box, and then she also has a slimline pop-up box die. They are just so cool. All right, so I picked out the Ferris wheel and the carousel and then this gorgeous paper for my card bases, and we're going to take these two stamps and we're really going to stretch them to make very detailed and beautiful cards. And the first way I'm going to do that is some tone-on-tone stamping. Now I picked a color that's similar. If you didn't have a lot of colors, you could use an embossing ink or a watermark ink, and when you stamp it on colored cardstock, it'll come out a little darker and it'll give you a similar look. Now the one I'm going for today is bolder than that. I really wanted something very striking and bold, so that's why I picked this darker pink to stamp on here. So this carousel image is just precious. I love carousel images. I kind of have a weakness for them. I have carousel jewelry and little figurines that are just precious. So yeah, I was definitely excited that this was in the stamp set, and like I said, I knew I'd use it all year long and not just for Christmas. So I'm really particular about what stamp sets I purchase for holidays, because I don't like to use the same Christmas set 2 years in a row because I can't remember what cards I made and what they looked like and who got what. So I'm very particular about which ones I choose, but I do try to choose ones like this, and I'm just showing you when it's dried back there, kind of the difference between these two. But I knew this would be a good one. All right, so now I'm cleaning off this mat. This is a Sizzix like secret weapon, stamping weapon, I don't know, something like that. I love it. I've had it for years. And the cool thing is like these are good quality stamps. This is an excellent ink. You combine those on the Sizzix mat and you don't have to have a stamp positioning tool, right? Like you can get stunning results. It's all about building having the right ingredients for your recipe. Okay, so I'm just stamping out a number of these, which I will end up die cutting. I did get the coordinating die cuts for this stamp set, again, because I knew it had lots of possibilities, which you guys are going to see. Now with purple, I find purple tone on tone to be kind of the trickiest. I'm going to show y'all here. So I chose a purple ink. And by the time you ink it up, like the results I usually get, they almost look black. Like I could have stamped with black, it wouldn't have been much different. But if you use the embossing ink, it'll give you closer to the results like what we saw on the pink card previously. So I'm using an anti-static powder tool. I'm bringing in my Tim Holtz embossing ink. And I'm going to make another patterned card front, but this time I'm planning on embossing it. So you can see there, if you didn't need the powder, if you just were going to stamp this out and you wanted something more tone on tone. With purple, using that embossing ink, it's going to give you, I think, a better result. Just something to keep in mind. Just practice with your supplies and see what kind of results you get and what you like. Okay, so I'm using a clear embossing powder. And I really just still wanted that tone on tone look, but I wanted that dimension of embossing, and I wanted just the shine and everything, especially because this is a darker color than the pink. I thought it would add a nice kind of layer of dimension to the card. So I'm just heating all of this up with my heat tool. And you guys, I always wear a mask when I'm embossing, just like the ones that we see for COVID everywhere. I wear a mask just because you're melting plastic. It seems like a good idea. Okay, I'm using this Catherine Puller drive-in. I thought it matched this paper perfectly. And I don't know what the colors of these papers are, because when I get colored cardstock, like in my card kits and stuff, I just put them all in one basket and grab what I like whenever I want it. So I don't try to keep it all separated. So here are the dies, and I have to say, these line up so nice, just like the Home Furnishings that I showed you guys. They're very well made. Okay, now this Happy Birthday was made for a slimline, right? But we're using it on an A2. And if I had made the cards horizontal, it would have fit. But because I made them vertical, I'm going to need to do a little edit on them. So I went ahead and glued down the word happy so I could trim around it. And by the time I clean this up, you really can't tell, and certainly whoever gets this card will have no clue that I had separated these two shadows. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Like, it's okay to edit, and most of the time no one's going to even be able to tell. No one's going to know but you. So just make it work for you and your design. I really wanted the shadows around these, so just doing that little edit totally made it work. Okay, I always lose the tittle to all of my dies that are sentiments. So I bought these honeybee white gems, and they're tiny and they're perfect. See that? Oh, I don't have to stress about where's that little bitty dot again. Oh my goodness. All right, so I am going to do a tiny bit of coloring in this video with you guys. I'm showing you that my washi tape hack is totally working out for me when it comes to just piling my markers on my table and being able to find the ones that go together. So I am loving that. I'm so glad I did that when I reorganized my alcohol markers. So I'm not leaving a ton of coloring in because this is not my strength in card making. I can be the first to admit that alcohol markers and coloring is probably like my weakness in card making. Also maybe lack of patience. Like, I don't tend to like to spend an hour and a half or two on one card. I totally love the results. Love it every time. But I just don't, I don't know. My time's limited and I'm in a hurry and I want to make fast cards. So, but I did leave a little coloring. If you like to color, this stamp set would be so much fun. I actually really enjoyed coloring the two images I colored. And all I could think is like, oh, if someone likes to color, this would be such a fun set to have, because there's like a little toy shop and a bakery and a gift spot, and they would be so much fun to color up. Okay, so here we are. That's done. And I'm kind of playing around here. I really like this arrangement here. This is not the final product, but I left it in because I really like that. I think I'll go back and make this card again and make it just like that. Okay, you guys know me. I love tissue paper and crepe paper, and I just like mixing things up quite a bit. So this was left over from my daughter's birthday party recently, and I got to bring the remainder to my craft room. So I thought this color just went perfectly and really made that carousel look like it's a party. That's the place to be. So when I kind of make my own rosettes and stuff, I do use my tiny attacher from Tim Holtz just to keep things together. And now I'm just playing around, and when I move these away, I totally changed my mind, and this is where I landed. So yeah, that's how I am. I'll think that I'm doing it one way, and then if I go and move something, I might totally change my mind, which is what I did here today. I like it. I'm happy with it. It's just funny. I'll move things off my card to glue things down, and I'll totally change my mind. Does anybody else do that? All right, card front done. So I'm going to put all that to the side. I'm going to work on this one a little bit, and I will color that up. And I don't want the sentiment on this. I want to do a rosette, so I've got to use that crepe paper again. First I colored up my Ferris wheel, and now I'm building my rosette. So you guys, like, I figure you would rather see me do construction stuff like this than coloring, especially since coloring isn't my strength, and maybe you would like to see how to make a rosette. So yeah, I try to keep my pleats somewhat uniform. And then, like, I'm making a full rosette here, but I go ahead and bring in my tiny attacher and just kind of get things set before I make the second half. And that just kind of keeps it from unraveling on me. That can be frustrating. So this really helps me keep things together and keep moving around and keep things in line. So that would be my tip for you on those. And I just think this is so cute. I really, really like it with that crepe paper behind it. I am going to bring in my tiny attacher one more time just to make sure we've got it all together. We got to get it all together. And then I will glue this down. I use, glue all around because that's going to help keep those pleats and everything in place. And then I turn it over and I'll add some foam tape. And so this rosette's not going anywhere. It is secure. Staples, glue, tape. Okay, there we go. And now that front of that card is done. And then I tackle the inside. So first I'm picking my card base, and it would be lovely to have it on the same color, but I like the contrast. You guys probably could have guessed that. So yeah, I decided to put them on opposite bases to what the card front color was. This one I didn't line up perfectly well, and this tape, once it's down, it's down. There's no getting it back up. So I'll just trim off the edge of that, just like this. And I did trim a little bit of the carousel one as well because I wanted it to have the purple border around it. I thought that'd be really nice to kind of tie in the crepe paper and the sentiment, and it'll all make sense. Just giving it that little bit of purple border. Okay, so I really want to do the insides of these cards. I couldn't possibly leave those blank. So did a lot of ink blending, which I'm not going to show you all of that in this video, but I did a lot of the purple, and then I went in with this same pink that I've been using, and I watered it down with just like a drop of water. And then I'm going to use that to splatter this. So this is going on the inside of my card. And I just kind of wanted it to be like a magical starry night. I think the last time we wrote a carousel. It was like, you know, one of those fairs that comes to town. And we were with the kids and we were having barbecue at our favorite place and went outside and there was a fair and we rode some rides at night. So that's kind of what I was thinking of with this. All right, so I had cut extras because I knew I'd want them for the insides of my cards, but I'm not going to color that one. I just don't think it's needed. And I'll just glue everything down. That drive-in color matched this cardstock beautifully. I don't know if Catherine Puller makes paper, but it would be interesting. I'll have to look into that at some point. It would be nice to have coordinating paper. Okay, so I decided to do the same color for this other card. And there it is. Again, it was just about tying in the front and inside of the cards so they feels more cohesive. Now this one I just used water, and you can see that Catherine Puller ink is so water reactive. I love that. It's so cool. Really, really like it. You guys will have to stay tuned because I have one more idea with this stamp set that I really want to explore and play with. So I will be using it again. Hopefully this, like in the next few weeks. I want to show y'all one more idea I have with it. But I have another one in this video. So I'm bringing back this Home Furnishings. If you guys didn't see me play with this yet, I have a video a couple of weeks ago where I made 2 clean and simple cards with this stamp and die set. I've left it on my desk ever since, and y'all haven't seen it, but I've used it. I love it. I love this stamp set. Okay, so I had an idea of cutting the little houses. Well, they're not houses, right? They're those little market booths out of pattern paper, and then I did one with white, and then I stamped a sentiment in it, and it's super cute. But then I just kind of kept going. I was having so much fun by this point that I kind of just pulled out all stops for this card. I was warmed up. So I used this fossilized amber distressed embossing glaze. I am hooked on these 100%. You will definitely be seeing more of these. Okay, so here are I just picked 2 of the little booths and cut those out of the pattern paper. And I thought that was super cute, but that's not where I went with this. Instead, I brought in the Assorted Leaves die set, which you might have seen me use last week. And I cut out a mint leaf, and then I'm going to pop up all of these little booths or houses, as they are for us in this card. I also stitched around that card front, that embossed card front, giving it even more texture and interest. Now I had this random die in my stash, which I just felt like was the right size for this card and shape. So I pulled this in basically as a background to that leaf. And that way it's at the same height as the little houses. It is so funny, guys. I spilt water all over this oval die. Both pieces, they were wet when I was gluing them down. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Oh my goodness, but hey, it could have been so much worse. I could have ruined my first 2 projects or this one, and it's just this little bit got wet. All right. I took this is a Tim Holtz embossing like dauber. I like this thing a lot. So I took that around the edges of my paper. I brought in the fossilized amber again, and I actually did this twice for the 2 inside panels of my card. And I really like doing this. It's just so interesting. With this one, I did want to use a little more paper, so I put this paper here, and then I had stamped my sentiment on a larger oval that matches the front. It says, "Congratulations on your new home." We have some friends that just moved, so I will now have a card for them. And I'll just finish putting this together for you guys. I have had so much fun working with Scrappy Tails. Y'all can tell I'm so inspired using these products. Like, it makes me want to do mixed media. It just has been very thrilling, really. I enjoyed this session so much and the previous two, so it was a complete honor and pleasure. I hope you guys will go check some of this stuff out. If you're in the market for stamps and dies, I encourage you go to Scrappy Tails because her designs are so unique and her products are so well made. It's really amazing. Okay, so the first card, sweet little carousel card. I feel like it's magical. I really like it. I want to make more. Otherwise, I might hoard it. And then this Ferris wheel, see that embossed texture? It's just a really nice dimension. And then this little cutie pie. Really, really like this card as well. So fun. And I think this is beautiful. No stamps, just the dies. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to show you all the shine and the stitching and the embossing. Really fun card. And bright and perfect for spring. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you enjoyed this series on my channel, and I hope you enjoyed the cards we made today. I'll leave Scrappy Tails linked below, and thanks so much for watching. Bye!